How's it going, everyone? My name is Mulder, and welcome to GameChron, your #1 stop for tips and tricks on your favorite video games. We're continuing our journey in Pathfinder Kingmaker Gameplay Tips and Tricks Part 2. In this video, we'll talk about the Stag Lord and how best to defeat him, how you can use combat spells and party balancing, along with finally talking about the kingdom management system once you've unlocked it by defeating the Stag Lord. All that and more straight ahead. As always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for a lot more. There will be little spoilers ahead, so keep that in mind. So grab your weapons and your party, and let's head into our Pathfinder Kingmaker Tips video Part 2.
On behalf of the people of the free city of Rostov, I confer upon you this noble title. Rise, your grace.
Let's kick things off with taking down the Stag Lord. Now, when you first arrive to the Stag Lord's fortress, there are two different ways how to get in. The first is at the front gate, to where either you can talk the guard in saying that you and your party are a bunch of new recruits, where if you're able to persuade that person, he can let you in without a fight. Another way to get in is also telling the guard that you're here to challenge the Stag Lord for his land, but I do not recommend this option because if you do, the Stag Lord will simply meet up with you, but have you fully surrounded by his bandits and simply attack you all at once. If you're unable to persuade your way into the gate will remain locked, but don't worry. This allows you then to go on the far left of the area to where then you can go in through a small crack through the gate. Bear in mind that there is a horde of zombies guarding this area. A zombie by itself is not very powerful at all, and your party will be able to take it down pretty easily. But once if you're swarmed, definitely have your party set up a line of defense while having your casters cast spells over your heroes that are holding the line. Definitely make sure you have some of your best characters for this mission. Once the zombies are dead, make your way through the crack in the wall. Either persuading your way in through the front gate, taking your bunch of recruits, or going through the cracked wall. Now try to take down as many bandits as you can. Once you've taken down the first 3 to 4 bandits, one bandit will run away trying to sound the alarm. Unless you have a good group of archers on your team or a spellcaster that's locked onto him, simply let him go and let your party continue to stay close together. Do not allow your party to be separated in pursuit of this enemy. This battle can be very tedious, where even if one party member gets separated from your group, it can mean easy defeat for your team. Regardless if the alarm has been sounded or not, have your team try to lure away as many bandits from the main courtyard as possible. There's going to be around 20 to 25 bandits in this area alone. These bandits can range between either spellcasters, regular fighters, or archers. Once you've killed enough bandits, the Stag Lord will appear. Now the Stag Lord will be on top of a platform to where he can use his bow and also cast spells on you. Across from him will also be a spellcaster that her main job will be trying to heal the Stag Lord. Before you dive in to charge this guy, look to your right of the area to where you'll notice there will be an owlbear locked in a cage. This owlbear can easily come in and wreck your entire party if you ignore this beast. Now there's quite a few ways how you can deal with it. The first is either you can lock the gate door to where it can't get out, sneak in and murder this creature before it breaks free, or simply open the gate yourself and kill it while your whole party is on top of this creature before bandits come in to attack you. I recommend going in stealthily and killing this creature, or simply having the gate locked. You do not want to deal with this beast when other bandits are in the area. Once the owlbear has been taken care of, now make your way to the Stag Lord. The way I approached this battle is I started to the far left of the courtyard and worked my way to the right. Starting to the left, I took care of any spellcasters that I ran into, along with the spellcaster on the very top of the platform that was causing a lot of healing for the Stag Lord and their other allies. Taking care of the mage that's constantly using healing spells on the other bandits is going to make your job a lot easier. One thing to bear in mind is that the Stag Lord is a very powerful archer. He will try to home in on one of your melee fighters to take them down one at a time. Once you've identified which fighter he's trying to take down, either have that character have a bunch of healing potions, or have one of your spellcasters constantly cast healing on that person. Have them be the decoy that the Stag Lord is trying to take down, while the rest of your team takes out the bandits and makes their way up to the platform to take out the Stag Lord. Cutting the distance with the Stag Lord and having him surrounded with at least 3 of your melee fighters can kill him pretty quickly. One thing about the Stag Lord is that once you cut the distance from him with your melee fighters, he will constantly keep trying to heal himself with healing potions and spells. Throw every powerful attack you have to drop this guy as quickly as you can. Once he's dead, it will give you an option of either wanting to spare his life, talk to him, or negotiate with him, but in all honesty, after all the hell I went through to fight this guy, I simply just took him out. But again, it's up to you how you want to do this. Once the Stag Lord is taken care of, go throughout the rest of the area and take out whatever bandits are left. There will be 1 or 2 bandits that will have rage activated, but aside from those guys, the rest of the bandits are pretty easy to kill. And there you have it. You have officially taken on the Stag Lord and have unlocked your settlement to start your kingdom. Another thing too to talk about combat here is that whenever you're using a large party and one of you using a spell, make sure that spell is nowhere near your allies. Area effective spells can not only hurt the enemy but can also hurt your allies as well, which, going back to the formations option, For me, I have my spellcasters either behind my main party or have them on the flanks of the enemy. Some spells require a range attack more than an area of effect, so it's always best to have a spellcaster on the flank of your enemies to where they can use their spells without having to worry about hitting your allies. Always make sure they have your Celtic, main healer, or bard in the center of your party to wherever they're activating area effects, your whole party is getting that bonus. You don't always have to put your healers in the far back of the field, especially when your troops are moving down the way, taking out enemies as they go. Always try to keep everyone within a close proximity of each other, but not too close to where area effective spells from your enemies can do a lot of damage to you. This will take time depending upon what party maneuvers you like to roll with your party and see what type of balancing in terms of their weapons you like to use. There'll definitely be a lot of trial and error as you go along with this, especially depending upon what difficulty you have set in the game.
I am their living heart, the whisper of the wind, the strength of rivers, the luxuriant growth of the meadows. Do you wish to touch this power?
Now let's talk about the early stages of the kingdom management system and what are the things you need to do to make it work. Now when you dive into kingdom management mode for the first time, you're going to notice there's going to be 6 different options for you to choose from. Events, projects, regions, advisors, map, and settlements. Events are things that happen all around your kingdom depending upon what regions you have under control. These events can vary depending upon their urgency and how long it takes to accomplish them. Some events require your attention more than others, so make sure you have a good balance of what events you want to take care of first. For me personally, I focus on events that give me more building points. Building points allow you then to spend these points on building your settlements up a lot better, while also looking out for the care of my citizens. Next up is projects. Some require to where either you can go ransack a temple or rebuild one, start a farming project out in the area to where your inhabitants can get better food, how an event project is going, start a war with local bandits, and just to give you an overall look on how your kingdom is growing. You can decide what projects you feel are necessary to take care of and what projects you feel you need to cancel to recover some of those building points and also advisors that you spent time on them. You always want to pop into the projects tab every once in a while to see how everything is going. Attention to detail is very important here. Next up is regions. Now regions is all about regions that you've conquered as your character so far. These will be unlocked depending upon how your advisors are going about trying to get these regions under your control. Depending upon how your game is going, you can either get regions in through diplomacy or just flat out war. It really depends upon how your playstyle is and how you want to play as a ruler. Sometimes negotiations can fall flat or take too long with your advisors to where then you can just simply say, forget this, I'm just going to roll in there and take it by force. Everything you do in your kingdom management has a pro and a con to it, which will either be revealed shortly or later down the road depending upon your kingdom. Now let's talk about the next tab, which is called advisors, which is the most important thing to do when running your kingdom. Advisors are characters that either are in your party to where you can use in combat or simply just people you meet along your way. Advisors are people that you attach to your kingdom to run your day-to-day operations, such as a treasurer, a general, an ambassador to other kingdoms, you name it. These advisors will go towards any project that you need them to go to. Not only just running your kingdom, but also assigning them to events. You can tell if a character is very good for a job depending upon what their card says. You will be able to tell from the bottom of the card and to the top right of the card depending upon what numbers are there. The description down below will give you a better idea of how this character will do under their performance depending upon what event or project you assign them to. Advisors will continue to level up as your settlement grows. Make sure your advisors are constantly being taken care of. As the game continues on, there will be more and more challenging events that are going to show up. If your advisors aren't up to the task, it could take even longer for these things to be taken care of, in which case your kingdom can start crumbling around you. Another thing is that while projects are going along and you have to wait for them to finish, go out and explore your open territories that you've conquered. Try to go to areas that you have yet to explore because there may be an opportunity to get a new character or a new advisor depending upon what you find. Taking your time and picking which advisor is best for the job by reading their description and seeing what type of rank they have is going to make all the difference whenever you're trying to build up your kingdom. Next up is of course the map screen, which shows you how big your settlement and your kingdom is currently growing and what territories are under your control. And then finally is the settlement tab. Now the settlement tab allows you to go to any settlement that you're currently building and decide what buildings you want to put in it. Now there is no right or wrong answer to how you want to build your settlement, so I'm just going to explain to you what I'm building so far. For starters, I built 2 barracks in my kingdom because frankly, my luck so far in this game, every single random occurrence that's happened to me has always been either a little bad to just horrifying in terms of just enemies coming in like crazy, being attacked by bandits or slave traders, so I had to test this thing as the same mindset with my kingdom to where I want to prepare for anything bad to happen. So having a lot of barracks and having extra soldiers, I think is going to come in handy later on in the game for me. But aside from that, I also focused on building an economy. I built one of each of a tavern, a shop, a brewery, a blacksmith, and a lodge to where a lot of my residents can go and relax. At any given time, you can break these buildings down either while they're being constructed or later down the road. I also built some docks to where I can have some sea trade, but also I built a watchtower to keep a lookout for any incoming enemies. The game gives you a description of what each building offers you and how much manpower it's going to take to build this thing, along with building points. You can get building points by completing events by your advisors the further you go onto the game. Truly decide how you best to build your kingdom your own way. But even the most well-prepared shared kingdom can still find itself in trouble, depending upon what game settings you have set on your kingdom. When you first unlock Kingdom Management mode, it's basically a free-for-all to whatever could happen to your kingdom. While you and your party are off exploring or adventuring and you decide to rest for a long period of time, don't be surprised if once your party wakes up, you'll get a message on the screen saying that a surprise event has destroyed your kingdom. In which case, if your kingdom is destroyed, the game is over and you'll have to start over to where your last save was. Now there are two different ways how you can fix this. The first is that if you go to game settings, you can actually trigger something called Kingdom Invincibility mode. What this does is that any random event that can befall your kingdom will not destroy it at all. Your kingdom will always be saved no matter what happens. However, keep in mind that any major story moments that involve your kingdom to even bigger events will still destroy your kingdom. Kingdom Invincibility mode only saves you from the minor events to just random events that can happen to your kingdom. Personally for me, I think Kingdom Invincibility mode is perfect for those out there who are new to this type of game and also don't want to be struggling and having to do so much micromanagement. But if you're really not into Kingdom Management mode at all from what you're seeing, there's another option you can also turn on, which is Auto Kingdom Management. Turning this on automatically gives control of your kingdom to the game. The game will build your kingdom up depending upon your actions as a character. Bear in mind that the moment you turn on Auto Kingdom Management, you cannot turn it off the remainder of your game. The game will take full control and that's it. Personally, if you want to have a little control in your kingdom and still want to build it up your way without having to deal with all the hassle, I recommend turning on Kingdom Invincibility mode. It does make things a lot easier. But again, it's up to you. And that's it for our Pathfinder Kingmaker gameplay tips and tricks part 2. We'll be discussing in our next video how to gather up a lot of gold really quickly and how best to set up your characters to get really good results in combat. That will be in our Pathfinder Kingmaker tips video part 3, which will be coming out soon. If you've enjoyed this video series so far, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for a lot more. If you have your own tips on how you've been playing the game so far that you want to share with everyone, don't forget to drop a comment below. We'll be doing quite a few videos left on this game, but also we'll be doing new videos on Marvel's Avengers when that comes out, Cyberpunk 2077, Watch Dogs Legion, Star Wars Squadrons, and so much more. So definitely stick around. I look forward to playing those games with you along with finishing up Pathfinder Kingmaker very soon. Till then, I'm Mulder, and thank you so much for joining us on the GameChron.
Onward. Magrizi, Turio.